All right, what's going on, guys? Is doing really well today. Okay, so this video is gonna be like the title says, a practice test. Okay, for the SEA exam. Okay, so welcome to Primary School Masterclass, the Caribbean's elite online educational academy. Okay, let me just put on my timer here. Okay, so this again is a practice test. Okay, for those writing the mathematics SE paper. Okay, so mathematics masterclass adding to life. Now, this is going to be a section one video. So we're only going to be looking at section one questions actually. And section one has 20 questions, numbers 1 to 20. All right, numbers 1 to 20. All right, so just a little more information for worded questions because some of these questions, you're not just going to see numbers, you're going to see words. This is going to be a tip. Read the question. That's tip number one. Well, number one. Two, read the question again. Give yourself a chance to understand and familiarize yourself with the question. You probably most likely never saw it before, so you really need to get a chance to understand what you are reading. Then three, underline the important things in the question. Okay, especially if it's a question with a lot of words. Calculate using the working column. And five, write your answer and include units. Sometimes you forget units, don't forget your units. And of course, check over at the end. So generally the exam is 75 minutes, but you must have time. You must give yourself time to check over. You actually don't have time to check over. Sorry, you actually don't have 75 minutes to do the exam. You should finish it a little bit before that and give yourself a chance to check over. All right. So, look, another question, sorry. Yeah. So this again is a SEA practice test with mathematics, and it is based on the SEA framework 2021 to 2023. Okay, and this, I want to give credit to the source. This exam was taken from studyassistant.com. Okay, so you could head over there, and I want to give credit to that website. All right, if you are a person who is involved in the operation of studyassistant.com, I want to acknowledge that website as a source, and we looked at the questions, and the questions are very good practice questions. Okay, so it's a practice test. It's not an actual past paper, okay, but it is a practice test. All right. So, if you are writing the paper, you would write the name of your school, the full name, your full name, the dates that you're writing, and I will say that the SCE exam is going to be starting on March 29th, right? So March 29th, we'll put the date here, March 29th, 2022, which I believe is um uh when yeah, a Wednesday. March 29th is a Wednesday, right? So yeah, so the test is divided into three sections with a total of 40 questions, and we're gonna look at this here. Section one has 20 questions, numbers 1 to 20, right? All right, you will have 75 minutes to answer all questions, but we're just doing section one. Read each question carefully and show all working in the column provided. Marks will be given for correct steps taken. All right, okay, so let's look at number one. Number one says write in words this number right here. Okay, so these the first question is a very, very easy question to start it off with. And we're looking at the number 54301. And if you remember your place values, we have 1 being the unit column, 0 being the 10 column, 3 being the 100 column. Okay, and I always tell my students, you could also write it like this: 5, 4. Let me write it over. Right, 5, 4, And if it's 3 digits away, you put the comma, 301. So that comma right there is a nice way to, you know, really help you group them in a certain way. So that's going to be 54,000 on the left of the comma, right? And then 301 as a remainder. Okay, so your answer here should be 54,301. Or you could forget the and, right? And you could put just comma. So it would say 54,301. That's the answer right there for number one. Okay, number two. Number two says use the following digits to make the number smaller. Use the following digits to make this, no, to make the smallest number, sorry, to make the smallest number. So this again will test your place value. So the smallest number will begin with the smallest digit. Okay, so the smallest digit we have there would be the 1. Okay, so definitely going to be, this is the first one, is going to be, I cross that off as I go along, 1. Then the next smallest number is the 3. The next smallest number is the 6. And the next smallest number is the 8. All right. So that gives me this number here, 1368. And that number is 1368. You can put a comma there if you like. Right. That number is 1368. That is just for 1 mark. Okay, so we're moving nicely along. Number 3 says rearrange the following numbers in ascending order. And ascending means going up, going from smallest to largest. Descending means going from largest to smallest. So I'll write that there, right? Ascending order, right? Ascending order means smallest to largest. All right. Now, these are decimals. So you're dealing with decimals here. Now, decimals, right, use place values, but they also have place values on the right side of the point. Okay. So if I have, let's say, for example, 0 0.54, 0 0.54, the units will be 0, right? The unit would be 0. And then I have my point, and this here, this 5 would be 1/10. 1/10. This 4 here is going to be 1/100. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're using place values to figure it out here. And the smallest one here is going to be 0. Definitely 0. I see a 1 here. This one looks like the biggest one. So I'll probably put that one last. I could put that one last right now. So I'll just say that's going to be last for sure. Because these zeros here, right, are not as much as this one here. So I know that one is going to be going last. So I could put it last and cross it out one time. So I now have to rearrange the rest. So I have 0 0.05, which looks pretty small, 0 0.05, and it is the smallest one, so that's going to go first. Then I have 0 0.50 and 0 0.54. So 0 0.50 is smaller than 0 0.54. It's like 0 0.50 is less than 0 0.54. So I'm going to say 0 0.50 and then 0 0.54 here. All right, so that would be my selection there. So first one, I'm going to say um, uh, I'm going to say 0 0.05. The next one is going to be 0 50, sorry, 0.50. The next one is going to be 0.54. Next, the last one is going to be 1.5 or 1.50, right? That could be 1.50 there. Everybody else has two decimal places to the right, and 1.5 has one. So it can't be, whoa, what's going on? It can't be 1.50 there, right? So those would be my numbers in ascending order. All right, moving along. So you have a worded question here, right? So remember what we said with worded questions. Let me check back on this here. It says, read the question, then read the question again, underline the important things in the question. So let's do that. So let's read the question, reading the question twice. So it says here, Dylan saved $340. He gets an additional 25% from his mother, which he saves. How much money does Dylan have now? Okay, let me read that again. All right. Dylan saved $340. He gets an additional 25% from his mother, which he saves. How much money does Dylan have now? So I read it twice. The next thing to do would be to underline or highlight the most important things. I'll underline it. So Dylan is not important. It could be anybody's name, but saved 340 is important. He gets an additional 25% is important from his mother. His mother is not important, right? Whoever you got it from is not important. But the fact that he got an additional 25% is, which he saves. And then you underline in the question itself, because that's what you want to answer. How much money does Dylan have now? So I can say that 100%, 100% of his money is equal to $340. Right? Okay. So since we're dealing with percent, and that's your percent sign here, percent sign. Okay. We're dealing with out of 100. So 100% of his money, which is all his money, is $340. Right? The additional percentage is equal to 25%. Right? Okay. So he has saved 100%. He has saved 100% plus 25%. Okay. So Dylan has saved 125%. Right? Dylan has saved 125%. So 125% of $340 would be a certain number. So we need to find, I'll go with a different color here. No, I'll stay with blue. So we can say he saved 125% of $340. I'll write that there. He saved 125% of $340. All right. So how do we find that? So we say 125% out of 100. Percent means out of 100. 125% or 125 per 100 out of 340 is the amount of money that he saved. So let's go. So if you want to cancel or cross multiply, whatever your school says, right? Whatever your school calls it, let's say we canceling. These zeros would cancel. Then we have 125 on top here, a 10 here, and a 34 here. Now, if you remember your 5 timetables or the 5-time multiplication rule, if a number ends in a 5 or ends in a 0, it can be divided by 5. All right, so I'm going to just write this in green here, just as a note, right? Okay. If a number, I'm gonna write as a note, if a number ends, why not in green? Oh, okay. All right, okay, all right. If a number, yeah, green here. If a number ends with a 5 or a 0, it can be divided by 5. Right, so remember that. So that's the rule what I'm doing here right now. If a number can be, if a number ends in a 5 or a 0, it can be divided by 5. Right? So how does that help me here? Well, 125 ends in a 5 and 10 ends in a 0. So 5 could go into 10 two times, and 5 could go into 125. Let's see. 5 could go into 1 cannot. 5 could go into 12 two times, remainder 2. 5 into 25 is 5. 5 into 25 is 5. Then I have a 2 here. I have a 2 here. I have a 34 here. Right? And we also know another rule, if a number ends in an even number, it can be divided by 2. Right? If a number ends in an even number, it can be divided by 2. Right? So I'm going to say 2 into 2 is 1. I want a little easier, look better looking there. 2 into 2 is 1. Then 2 into 34 is 2 into 3 is 1, remainder 1. That's 17. 2 into 34 is 17. Right? So therefore, I have remaining 25 over 1 multiplied by 17 over 1, which is the same thing I was saying 25 by 17. Right? Same thing I was saying 25 by 17. Okay? So I'll take this and let's multiply. Let's multiply. So you have 25 multiplied by 17. Right? 5 into 1 is 5. Right? 5 into 1 is 5. 2 by 1 is 2. Then I have 5 sevens are 35. Cross that 5, put it below the 7, because that is the guy I'm looking at right now. 5 sevens are 35, 35 below the 7. 2 sevens are 14, and 3 is going to be 17. 14 and 3 is 17. Now we're going to add. So I'll say nothing and 5 is 5. 5 and 7 is going to be 12. Put my 12 out here. Put the 2 below those guys. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. And this extra 1 out here is going to be 4. Right? So my final answer is going to be 425. And that answer is going to be in dollars. My final answer, I'll put it in purple. My final answer is going to be, I'll put it in blue, right? Final answer is going to be $425, right? So Dylan saved $340, which is 100%, and his mother gave him 25% of that money. and we just added it together. So Dylan basically saves 125% of his money, right? Moving forward, that's number 4 right there, right? Let's have number 5. Number 5 says express 36% as a decimal fraction. And we were looking at percentage before, right? Percentage before. So this percentage sign means that means percent. That means percent. And percent means per 100. That means per 100. Okay? That cent, the word cent means 100. So a cricketer scores 100 runs, that's called a century. A centipede has 100 legs. A centipede, okay? 100 years is called a century. All right? Okay? So 36% means 36 per 100. So you have 36 over 100. Yeah? So we want to express it as a decimal fraction. We just need to reduce it and simplify it. Okay? Right? Reduce it and simplify it. Right? And that is how we're going to get our answer. So we need to understand that decimals use the point. Right? When you're talking about decimals, decimals use the point. I'm just going to say that. Decimals use points, right, as a decimal fraction. So if it's 36 out of 100, right, remember this 36 is going to be 1/10, right? That 3 is going to be 1/10, and that 6 is going to be 1/100ths. Okay, all right. So 36% as a decimal fraction, that is going to be simply 0.36. That's your answer there. I did a lot of detail there, so you guys could use it as a revision source as well. I'm not just going to be dropping answers. I want to explain my answers, okay? Right? Number 6. Number 6 says, complete the statement below to represent the decimal 8.36. Completed this. We're doing this now. We did this before. Right? We did all this. Right, cool. So again, read the question again. Complete the statement below to represent the decimal 8.36. Place values again. So the 8, which is on the left side of the point, is going to be units or ones. So that is why we have 8 by 1. Then we have on the right side of the point 3. That 3 is right after the point, so that's going to be 3 by 1/10. And the 6 there is going to be 6 by 100ths, right? That 6 there is going to be 6 by 100ths. 6 multiplied by 1/100ths. Okay, so my answer is going to be looking like this. It's going to look like 6 multiplied by 1/100ths. Understand? Yeah? Right. Any questions? Drop it in the comments or write them in the chat box. Okay. 7. What is the difference between 3,107 and 1,752? Let me read that again. What is the difference? What is the difference between 3,107 and 1,752? So in mathematics, the word difference means to take away or subtract. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put the bigger number above 3,107 above, and then we have 1,752 below, and then we're going to do the subtraction. Okay, So pretty simple stuff here. 7 minus 2 is going to be 5. Oops. Okay, hold on. Okay, the page just needs to reload. Sorry about that. Right. Praise the Lord. Nice. So 7 minus 2 is going to be 5. 0 minus 5 cannot, so I need to borrow 1, which will leave this as 0. And then I still need to borrow, yeah, this one is going to come here. So now it's going to be 10 minus 5 is going to give me 5. Right? Then I have 0 minus 7, which cannot work, so I need to borrow from this 3. This 3 is going to become 2. Then I put the 1 above the 0. So now I have 10. Okay, so I'm taking my time here. You guys know how to do this, just take your time. 10 minus 7 is going to be 3. And then finally, 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. Okay, if you need help with this, just check out the recording and take your time looking at it. Okay, so it tests your ability to regroup. The answer, the final answer is going to be 1355 or 1355. Okay, moving on. We have here, there are 20 dozen eggs to be shared equally among 4 bakers. How many dozen eggs will each baker get? Ouch. Okay. So I'll read it again. There are 20 dozen eggs to be shared equally among 4 bakers. How many dozen eggs will each baker get? All right. So 20 dozen eggs to be shared among 4 bakers. So we're going to share it equally among 4 bakers. 20 dozen eggs shared equally, 4 bakers. How many dozen eggs will each baker get? How many dozen eggs will each baker get? I think they're trying to trick you by mentioning dozen. So it's dozen right here is just basically a unit. So it's going to be 20 dozen eggs. I'll write it fancy. Right? There's going to be 20 dozen eggs divided by 4 bakers. Divided by 4 bakers. 4 bakers. So 20 divided by 4, that's going to be 5. 5 dozens. 5 dozens. So my answer is simply 5 dozens. All right. Moving on, number 9 says 40% of a number is 20. What is the number? 40% of a number is 20. What is the number? Okay. So if 40% of a number is 20, we need to find that number. So 40% of a number is 20. What is the number? Okay, right? So right, yeah. So 40% of a number is 20. I just making sure the internet is working good here. So if 40% is equal to 20, 40% is equal to 20, right? Are quite a many different ways to find this. Okay, 40% is equal to 20. 20% of the number would be 20 divided by 2. And let me show you what happens there. So you see this 40 here? I cut this 40 in 2. So it was 40 divided by 2 is 20%. 40% divided by 2 is 20%. So a half of 40%, we go to a different color here, I go to yellow. A half of 40%, right, is percent. So just how I did, I half the left side, I can half the right side. Okay, so a half of 40% is 20%, right? Let me do it a different way actually. Same way I'm gonna do it, but I just want to make it look better. Right? Okay, I just want to make this look better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say, okay, this needs to reload again. I don't think anybody ever did so much work on this document before. Right. Yeah. Should load up shortly. Where is it? Oh, look at that. And cool. So, So, 40%. Oh man. Okay, I'm something here. So, 40% is equal to 20. Right? Okay. Again, 40% is equal to 20. What I'm going to do with that 40, I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. So 40% divided by 2 is 20%. And just how I divided the 40% by 2, I'm going to say 20 divided by 2 as well. 20 divided by 2. And 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. So 40% is equal to 20, and 20% is equal to 10. So if 20% is equal to 10, right? So if 20% equals 10, I can say 20 multiplied by 5. 20 multiplied by 5 will give me 100%. And 10 multiplied by 5 would be 50. Would be 50. So 100% of your number is 50. All right. Okay. I could double check that. All right. 40% of 50 will give you 20. All right. So I have some technical difficulties here, but I think we got it out there. So I divided the 40% by 2 to give me 20%. I also did the same with the 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. And when I got this here, right, I said if 20% is equal to 10, well, the 20 multiplied by 5 is going to give me 100%. 20% by 5 is 100%. And then the 10 multiplied by 5 would give me 50. So my final answer is going to be 50. Mm. 50, no units. They didn't ask any, they didn't give us any units, so just no units. Number 10. Okay, so we did number 9. Number 10 now. In 2012, Grace was 10 years old. In what year would Grace celebrate her 16th birthday? Right, so if Grace was 10 years old, I'm going to say 2012 is equal to 10 years old. Right? Or I can write it like this. I can say 10 years old. 10 years old will be equal to 2012. And in what year would Grace celebrate her 16th birthday? So she's 10 years old then. We want to look at 6 years later than that to make her 16 years. So 10 years old, I'm gonna say plus 6, plus 6. I'm gonna plus 6 on the left side, right? Plus 6 on the left side will give me 16 years old. Okay? 16 years old on the left side. And whatever I do on the left side, I need to do it on the right side. So I'm gonna say, just as I added 6 on the left, is gonna be plus 6 on the right. So 2012 plus 6, that's gonna be 2018. 2018. So she is gonna be, who is it? Grace. Grace is gonna be 20. In 2018, Grace is gonna be 16 years old. In the year 2018, right? So in the year 2018, Grace is gonna be 16 years old. Oh. Moving along, number 7. Number 11. Number 11. It says here, how long was session 2 below? Okay, they give us a table. We have sessions 1 and 2, and when they begin, the time where they begin and when they end. So it says, how long was session 2? It asks, how long was session 2 below? So we can figure session 1. Let's focus on session 2. So session 2 is 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right? 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I can look at the hours. So I'm looking at the latest hours. So definitely the session lasts from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That is going to be um that is going to be 10 to 12 and 12 to 3. Okay? So 10 to 12 is going to be 2 hours. 2 hours. And 12 to 3 is going to be 5 hours. I'm sorry, 3 hours. 12 to 3 is going to be 3 hours. All right. So that's definitely the time within there. Right? So definitely 5 hours is going to be spent in this session. Right? 5 hours at least going to be spent in this session. But they said from 9:30 a.m. So 9:30 a.m. So 9:30 to 10 a.m. 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is going to be 30 minutes, right? So additionally, there was 30 minutes, 30 minutes, plus 15 minutes, 15 minutes because it was 3 to 3:15. So that's an additional 45 minutes, right? So therefore, total time is going to be 5 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, so you definitely need to know your clock. Right, you definitely need to know your clock. All right, so we have the 12 here, and I use the 12 as the cutoff. We have the 6, we have the 9, we have the 3. Okay, the 1 and the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, and 10, and 11. So I calculated from 10 to 12, and then 12 to 3, and I add in the extra 30 minutes here, the extra 30 minutes here, right? And then the extra 15 minutes here, 9:30 to 3:15. So that's what happened there, guys. All right. So my total time, what was it? For session 2 would be 5 hours and 45 minutes. 5 hours and 45 minutes. Yep. Number 12. Number 12. It says shade 3/5 of the hole below. So the hole is going to be the whole circle 3/5. Well, there are 5 parts. I can even label them. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 3 out of 5. So I just need to shade um, uh, 3 of them. So I'll go with this one. Ooh, my shading is pretty bad. Sorry. Take my time. Trying to stay within the places here. That was one down. Right. That was the second one down. Then the third one. Try my best to shade properly here. Alright, the third one is going to be this here. So I just shaded 3 out of the 5. And yeah, no answer to right there. The shading is the answer itself. Okay. So we did 12, we did 11, we did number 13. So it says here, a worded question. In a cash pan, there are 20 25-cent coin pieces. How much money is that in dollars? Right, again, let me read it again. In a cash pan, there are 20 25-cent coin pieces. How many is that? How much money is that in dollars? So I'm gonna say 20 multiplied by 0.25 cents, right? Right? And I put 0.25 because that is the format of cents, right? So 20 multiplied by 0.25, okay, and that will give me the amount of money in dollars there, right? So yeah, pretty much. So I can do the multiplication for that now. I'm gonna say 20 multiply by 0.25. And if this is too much for you to work, guys, you could always calculate the cents and then put in the decimal point after. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just gonna say 20 multiplied by 25. And I'll put in the decimal point after. Okay, so 0 by 2 is 0, 0 by 2 is 4, 0 by 5 is 0, 2 by 5 is 10. Now I add them together. 0 by 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 4 plus 1 is 5. And then I put the point at the end. Because it's the 2 decimal points. It's the 2 decimal points. Therefore, answer is going to be $5. And don't forget to put your dollar sign in your answer. $5. All right, moving along. It says here, number 14, calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. All right, pretty easy. Calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. We see that you're using meters, so we have 5 meters for the length. 5 meters would be the length. right? And 2 meters is going to be the width. Some schools say breadth. It's pretty much the same thing, right? Okay. So first thing that you could do to jog your memory, perimeter of a rectangle is going to be equal to what? Length. You can say length plus breadth plus breadth, right? Or you could also say, some schools use this, you could say length length plus breadth. You get that, and then you multiply that by 2. So I'm sure either way it's going to work. So I'm going to say 5, because a 5 plus 2 plus 2 is going to be equal to 5 and 5 is 10, and then 2 and 2 is going to be 14, right? It's going to be 14 what? 14 meters. You could also do it this way and say 5 plus 2 multiplied by 2. That's going to be 5 plus 2 is 7 multiplied by 2. That's going to be giving me 14 meters, right? That's my answer there. Either way you could do it. It helps a lot. It helps a lot to put the formula down. Okay? The examiner will know that you know what you're talking about. The answer is going to be 14 meters. 4 meters. Yeah? Number 15, it says Rose is bought, I think that was a mistake there. Rose bought a box of candles for $450 at a 20% discount. What was the original price for the box of candles? Right? Okay. So again, Rose bought a box of candles for $450 at 20% discount. What was the original price of the box of candles? Right? So 80%. I'll underline the important things like we said. What we said to do, read the question twice and underline the important things. Okay, read the question twice and underline the important things. Right? That's what we have there. So rose is not important, a box of candles for $450 is important, 20% discount. And you underline in the question because that's what they ask. Right? So $450, 450 is equal to 20%. Sorry, my bad. Not 20%. 450 is equal to 100 minus 20%. Right? Now, how did I get that? Well, the word discount means that some of the price was cut out. So therefore, she didn't pay 100%. She paid 100 minus 20%. So she paid 80%. So in other words, you could also say $450 dollars is equal to 80%. Right? So the original price, right? You want to get the original price. The original price will be equal to 100%. The original price will be equal to 100%. So therefore, I can say here, I want to get the original price. I'm going to say 450 over 80 to the original price, 100%. Let's see what we get here. So I cross off my zeros. Then I a 8, a 40, 450 above here, and then a 10 down here. So I can make it simpler. So I'll say 8. Um, what can I do here? Well, you know what I could do here? And this comes with experience. The more you do this, the better you become at it. I'm going to say 450 by 10. To multiply a number by 10, you just add a 0 to it. So 450 by 10 is going to be 450. I'm going to add a 0 to that. So that's going to be 450 and a 0, which is 4,500 divided by 8. All right. So now I have a simple log division to do. So I'm going to say 4,500 divided by 8. What number is this? So 8 into 4 cannot. 8 into 45 is, that's going to be 5, right? Because 5 eighths are 40, right? I put a space over here or a 0 there. 5 eighths are 40. So 45 divided by 40 remainder is going to be 5. Then I bring down this 0. 8 into 50 is going to be 6, right? 6 by 8 is going to be 48. 50 take away 48 is going to remain with a remainder 2. Then I bring down this 0. 8 into 20 is going to be 2. 2 by 8 is going to be 16. 20 minus 6 is going to be 4. I have nothing to bring down anymore. So I'm just going to add a 0. Alright? Put a point and add a 0. 8 into 40 is going to be 5. 5 eighths are going to be 40. 40 minus 40 is going to be 0, 0. So my answer is going to be 562.5, 562.5, or in other words, $562.50. And 50 cents. My answer is going to be 562.50. All right. Yeah. So we did this. If you need clarification, you need to check this again. Hit rewind. Check this again. Number 16. How many angles are shown below? Sorry, how many angles shown below are between 90 and 180? Right? Between 90 and 180. So that's gonna be obtuse angles. How many obtuse angles? Okay. So the answer here is gonna be, this is definitely a right angle. So that's not an answer there. This is a right angle here. This is a right angle here. This is a right angle here. All these angles here are 90 degrees. All those angles, let me just do that again. All those angles there are 90 degrees. All of them here are 90 degrees. This one is 90. This is 90. This is 90. This is 90 as well. Right? So this angle here, I'm looking at it, this is definitely between 90 and 180. This is also between 90 and 180. So my answer is going to be B and C. It's not going to be A because you know AB is a straight line, that's 180 degrees. My answer here is going to be B and C. Right? Angles B and C. Well, how many angles shown? The question asks, how many angles? So the final answer is not going to be angles B and C, but actually going to be two angles. The two angles are B and C. but it just asks how many. So my answer is going to be two angles. You can write B and C if you need to. Right, angles, two angles, B and C. Number 17. Number 17, you have a picture of a flower. It asks how many lines of symmetry does the figure below have? So lines of symmetry are mirror lines. So definitely a line. I wish I could draw a line quicker, right? But I can't. So definitely a line is going to be going, whoops, draw a thin line, right? I'm going to try my best to draw it straight. So definitely a line coming down here. That's one line of symmetry. Then a line cutting at the side here. That's two. Then I have another one. That's three. Another one here. Whoops, that curved too much. Another one here is going to be four. Another one here is going to be five. Another one here is going to be six. Another one here is seven. Another one here is going to be eight. Another one here is going to be nine. Another here is going to be 10. Another here is going to be 11. Another here will be 12. All right. So basically, there's going to be 12 lines of symmetry. I do not have a ruler, so it will be kind of difficult to show this on the call. But I'll get an image for you pretty quickly, right? At the end of the call, to show you the final image. Right? So number 18, it says complete a statement below. 3,500 grams to kilograms. So how many bunny hops do you need to do from grams to kilograms? You're moving 3 bunny hops to the left. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. And it lands between the 3 and the 5. So it's going to be 3.500 kilograms, or just 3.5 kilograms. Right, so we did that there. Right. Just two more for section 1. So it says to calculate 0.5 and 3/4. So 0.5 as a fraction is a half. So it's kind of like saying this here. It comes like if I'm saying a half plus 3/4. A half plus 3/4 is going to be this here. I do my LCM. Maybe 4 down here. 2 into 4 is 2. 2 by 1 is 2. And then 4 into 4 is 1. 1 by 3 is 3. 2 plus 3 over 4, that's going to be 5 over 4. And you always put it as a mixed number. 5 over 4 is the same thing as saying 1 and 1 over 4. My final answer is going to be 1 and 1 over 4. Right? Finally, 20, complete the table below. Type of solid, types of faces, triangle. This is going to be a triangular base pyramid. Yeah, there's going to be a triangular base pyramid. Triangular base pyramid. Triangular base pyramid. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to show you the answer for this flower here at the end. Because the answers are actually at the end of this here. Right. Where are they? Look at here. This is the answer. This would be the 12 lines of symmetry, which was very difficult to draw online, but this would be your 12 lines of symmetry there. Okay. And that would be our section 1 test. So I hope you understand what happened here. If you need help, just quick rewind and take a check, but it is a good practice test. All right. So again, if you're doing worded questions, just remember to read your question and then probably read your question again, then underline the important things in the question, calculate using the working column, write your answer, include the units, and check over at the end. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed this class. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. So have a great day and God richly bless you.